The story about how the town Kokomlemle got its name, as told to me by my uncle, the late chief of Kokomlemle, is that the place where Sibusco or Caprice is, straight up to where Orion Cinema is or was bushy, or let's say a forest. And forest in Ghana means cool. So during the dry season, when the forest becomes dry and the bush catches fire, fire or blaze in Ghana is expressed by mlemle, blazing. So the name put together is a forest that is blazing. That's Kokoni Hele Mlemle. That's how come we had the name Kokomlemle. So when somebody asks somebody about the place, say, that bush that is burning, or where the bush is burning. So that's how come we had the name. And the place was a saggy land. Apart from the main indigenes from Kokomlemle, because of politics and modernization, we had a lot of Kwewus and Ashantis, coming to settle here. We have a lot of them, and they have a lot of properties all around. They were one of the first people that came to join the indigenes of Kokomlemle. Kokomlemle happens to be the city center of Accra. From the airport when you are hitting town, to your left is to the seaside, and to the right is where the township really is, towards the Nkrumah Circle. And this is where the politicians from Nkrumah's era, even pre-Nkrumah's era, this is where life really began. To the left is Adabraka and Asalem Down, and to the right is Kokomlemle. And this is where life really began. So we have, if you go to Ridge, you see a lot of the colonial buildings. You come to the right side towards Kokomlemle, you see a lot of the colonial buildings, and this is where they started really enjoying themselves. So hotels, nightclubs, drinking spots and all that started from this area. So we have the Sesibons, the Apollo Theater, the Lido, the Tiptoe, and all that. So Kokomlemle happens to be the entertainment hub in Ghana. Right behind me to my left is where Sky Ox started. About 150 meters behind me is where Sparks Center started. And that is where dancing competition started before the Embassy Double Do and the Triple Do and all that. Down towards Circle is where the Orion Cinema is. And then to my left, upstairs towards Newtown, is where the Oxford Cinema also was. And we have a whole lot of them around. The Sesibons in the 60s and the 70s, just a stone throw from here. Behind me, at the traffic light where Joy FM is, was Sadisco Hotel. It's one of the very, very old hotels we had around. We also had Sesibon, we had Hotel de France, we had so many of them around. All those old folks, the politicians said they had their homes all around. Nanado thems were just here. Nkrumah, Kwame Nkrumah, his base was just here, around Malata. We were told it was his friend's house and that's where he lived. So when you get to Malata, the Malata Junction, you take to your left and there's a brick house on your right hand side. That's where we knew Nkrumah, was based. So presently the place has become like a commercial center. Too many of the landmarks or notable places I mentioned are extinct and have been replaced by shops and offices and other commercial buildings. And so when you come around, within Kokomlemle, some of the notable or educational institutions that we can mention is ATTC, Accra Technical Training Center, one of the very foremost technical schools that the Canadians, together with former head of state, helped to bequeath to the community or to Ghana.